One of my favorite exercises and drills is the compass drill. It's an exercise that forces you to become an ambidextrous shooter, both with two hands and one-handed. And it's not necessarily an advanced set of skills, and it's something I like to introduce newer shooters to sooner rather than later, so the stigma of unsupported or one-hand shooting and or offhand shooting is kind of blown out of the water. It's no longer something to be fearful of and is now something that's a skill set that they have access to on demand. So the way this works, 4 positions, 1 shot at each position. So I'll talk you through it and then I'll give you some nuances and details that really make this a fantastic skill building exercise. So north is from the draw. You're going to draw, aim in, present, fire 1. Straight finger, your support hand is going to relax and release, come to heart. 1 hand only. Straight finger, you're going to come back about 2/3 of the way and pass to support hand only. Aim in. Straight finger. And then you're going to come into what's considered a reverse grip. Aim in. Fire 1. Now we return to a compressed ready position and slowly and safely come back into dominant hand. So here are some make and break details that can make this a really successful exercise. Trigger finger discipline, as you heard me narrate, is absolutely paramount. You must isolate that trigger finger through the transitions. We all understand how to present with strong hands. However, one-handed, from here to here, can get people a little wrapped around the axles, and that's largely in recoil management, especially if you're not a big person with a lot of muscle mass and bone structure. So instead of keeping my shoulders square to the target, where the energy of recoil traps in my shoulders, I'm simply going to rotate my support shoulder back and my firing shoulder forward, kind of pivoting around the axis of my spine. So from 2 hands to 1 hand, I can manage recoil and steady that dot much more successfully. The pass coming back, that's where things can get tricky. So number 1, again, isolate the trigger finger. And then what I'm going to do is take my thumb of my strong hand, bring it down to my ring finger. My support hand is going to get set in position. We can call this a gun spock, if you will. So I have my 3 fingers, I can make that joke, I have the haircut. So I keep my 3 fingers together, my thumb and my pointer finger high. And what I'm doing is, most people do not have such strong support hand safety disciplines, so presetting this hand is a great way to mitigate what could potentially be a safety violation in one of your digits curling into the trigger guard. So with my thumb on my gun hand in position, gun spock hand set, the webbing of my hand is going to travel up my wrist, slide into position, and then my support hand takes possession of the gun. In doing this, and I can do it in reverse, I also establish that high, tight, and even grip on the gun as soon as I make physical contact with it, which prevents me from side grabbing the gun and having limited recoil management. So this technique sets you up for a safe pass and a stable hand. Now after you've transitioned, hand comes to heart. Keeping your hand high forces the shoulders to stay parallel with the hips. You're going to rotate your new support shoulder back, your firing shoulder forward, again recoil management. And you might notice here that I'm flagging my thumb high, and by flagging my thumb high, I end up increasing my grip strength and stabling the dot even more. Coming back about 2/3 of the way is smart to right the shoulders and then to apply your support hand to the gun. Now, strong hand folks, we have to make sure that this new finger, which now has to behave in a manner it's not accustomed to, learns its job. So we need to keep all 4 fingers together. You can think of this as knife hand the world. Apply your palm below, fold 4 fingers under to achieve a reverse grip successfully. Aim in and then back. Now, no matter what we're doing before, during, and after the exercise, it's important to make sure we take our time and conduct that pass successfully. So one more time, aim in, north, east, south, west. That's the compass drill. You can do it first for technique and correct marksmanship, then you can also bump it up and shoot it for speed.